First one. Come on. First one says translate the following to an equation. The difference. What does difference mean? Subtraction of half a number. So I'm going to use x as my number. If I want to take half of it, what does that mean? Divided by 2. So all conjugate. Divide by 2. Or you can do multiply by 1/2. So it could look like this, x divided by 2, or it could be 1/2 x. Either way, they're the same thing. Half of a number and 3, so I just write it in order, means equals 9. So either way that you want to write it is fine, but that's what your answer should look like. So self-assess yourself, see if you got that. And then make sure you know how to solve it. If I were to solve this, what would I have to do first? If I were to solve this, what do I have to do first? Move the constant, 3. How do I get 3 the other side? Plus 3 or add 3. And so you end up getting, I'm going to write it up here, 1/2 x equals 12. Then how do I get rid of a fraction? Multiplying by its reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1. And so when I do that, you end up getting x equals 24. So make sure you know how to solve it. To check your answer, because most of your test is multiple choice, make sure you're writing it down if you are handing it in to make sure that I see that you're writing your notes. And in the multiple choice test, how can I check my answer to make sure that's right? Plug it in, right? I can plug it in for x, just like this in my calculator, and if the answer is 9, I know I got it correct. Most of your test on to tomorrow is multiple choice. So even if you had no idea what to do, you can always take your answer choices and plug them in and figure out which one works. Next one, this sum. What does sum mean? Add, so I know I'm adding, of twice a number. How do I write that? 2x, because twice a number means I'm multiplying it by 2, and 5 is at least 12. Now, at least means, like, if I want to get at least a 90 on this test, can I get 100? Can I get a 0 and be happy? I can get a 0 and be happy if I want at least a 90? No. So I need greater than, so the math has to eat the x or equal to. So make sure we remember that word at least. Now, how would I get x by itself? How do I move that 5 to the other side? Subtract 5, and you get 2x is greater than or equal to 7. Then what do I do? Divide by 2. You end up getting x is greater than or equal to 3.5. When would that sign flip? When you divide by a negative coefficient. When you're dividing by a negative coefficient, the sign flips. So I'm telling you, on your test, there will be answer choices that look like this. There will be also answer choices with the inequality the other way. You'll need to know which one is the correct form. All right, next one is solving equations. So first, when I see an equal sign, I draw my river. And before we go over this, self-assess yourself. So right now, on that first one, put that away. On your first one, you're circling. Yes, I got it. Maybe or no, I still don't understand it. So go ahead and do that on the first one. You're circling yes if you got it right. Maybe means, okay, I got it now, but I didn't at first. And no means I don't understand what's going on. Or I wasn't here, and I still don't get it. All right, next one. So first I draw my river. Come on. Then I rewrite this. So I have 4x minus 8. Then I got to distribute. What does distribute mean? Multiply, right? And so when I multiply, I end up getting 2x plus 10. Who at least got that part? Give me a thumbs up. Cool. Then I need to start moving things around. So you learned this with Ms. Thompson on Friday. So first I need to get 2x to the other side. How would I do that? Subtract it, right? Because it's already positive. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. When I do that, I end up getting 2x minus 8 equals 10. So you want to move all the x's to one side. Then how do I get 8 to the other side? Add 8. And so you end up getting 2x equals 18. What's the last thing I need to do? Divide by 2. Mm-hmm.
So 2x is 4x. If we were to subtract 4x, what if we went to the left?
If you subtracted 4x on both sides,
we'll
then,
still get the answer.
because it ends up getting negative 18 divided by negative 2, which would get you 9. So you'd still get the same answer. Did everyone understand what Kamari just asked? Kamari said if I moved it a separate way, like I moved 4x to the other side and 10 to this side, you would still get the same answer. How could I check my work? What do I do with my answer? Plug it in, right? So I could take my answer, and instead of x, I'm going to plug in 9. And I'm going to put this right into my calculator. If you were to put this in your calculator, you would get 36 minus 8, which ends up getting you what? Put in your calculator. 28. So 28 on that side. Now it should be equal to whatever I get on this side. So let's try it on this side. So first in PEMDAS, I do parentheses, or you can type this right into your calculator. What's 9 plus 5? 14, and 2 times 14 is 28. Do we see that these two sides are equal? Yep, so we know we did it correct. So even on the test, when you get to it, if it's multiple choice, you just choose the correct answer by plugging it in. Some of them are going to be open-ended, but remember, you could always, if you get stuck, you can always plug in answer choices. Next one, we went over the kind of this morning, but how do I get rid of a fraction that's being multiplied? Multiply by its reciprocal. So you can multiply by its reciprocal. I also saw Tristan turned it into this right here. And multiplied by 2 and then divided by 3. That's fine too, if you want to turn it into that. You get the same answer. But all I have to do is multiply by the reciprocal. How do I put a fraction in my calculator? What button do you press? ND. So if you put negative 12 in your calculator times ND 2 over 3, what do you end up getting? What's your answer?
Oh.
Negative 8.
Negative 8.
Just so you guys know, also, I am having you hand in these self-assessments because I do want to let your parents know, hey, this is what we went over in class. This is a test, and I want to let you know, like, this is what they wrote down while we went over all the material. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time, like I am letting your parents know if I see nothing on the paper, hey, this was their paper that we did in class, and this is why they got the grade they did. Because we have to move fast, we move on. So like unit 3 is starting right away. So on Wednesday, we start unit 3, and every single period is a different lesson. Because remember, you're technically getting 2 credits for 1 semester. That's why we got to move fast. So you got to make sure that you're paying attention, and if you were absent, that you're catching up. If you're not, then that's your choice, but I do let your parents know, and then you can take it again whenever. But I'll put in effort as much as you put in effort. So check off how you feel, if you got them right. Press yes, maybe, or no. You can also check your work by plugging in your answer choice. So putting this into your calculator, you should get negative 12. Cool. Next one. So next one, we do the exact same thing. notes when I talked to parents today. Anyways, first I distribute this 2 to both the numbers, and I end up getting 2x minus 12 equals 2x minus 12. What do we notice about both sides of the equation? They're both the same thing, right? 2x minus 12. So even if you subtracted 2x on both sides, you end up just getting negative 12 equals negative 12. Does negative 12 equal negative 12? Yes, it does, right? And so because it does it equals it means it's the same equation. I would have infinite solutions. That's because they're literally the same equation. So I could plug any number in for x, and it should get me the same answer for both of them. So infinite means I can use any single number for x, and it will get me that same answer. This one, when I draw my river, I subtract 4x on both sides, and you end up getting 10 equals negative 6. Does 10 equal negative 6? Does it? That number? Is 10 the same as negative 6? No. In your head, you're like, no, they're not the same, so it's no solution. That means these are technically parallel lines, which we'll learn about next unit. And so because they're no solution, they're never going to cross. There's no number that I could put in for x that would get me one side equaling the other. So now make sure you circle a yes if you feel like you got it and you didn't need to go over it. Maybe means like, okay, now I got it, and no means I wasn't here and I totally have no idea what you're saying. Because I am collecting these after. All right, next one. Inequalities. So first I draw my river, then I distribute that negative 2 to both terms, so I get negative 10x plus 6 is less than 10. Then how do I get this 6 to the other side? Subtract it. And so I end up getting negative 10x, and then negative, or not negative, I end up getting 10 minus 6, which is 4. Then how do I get x by itself? Divide, and see how I'm dividing by a negative coefficient? What happens to my sign? It flips. And so when you reduce this, you end up getting negative 2 over 5. And so I know negative 2 over 5 is between negative 1 and 0. So it's going to be an open circle because there's no line underneath it. And x is being eaten, so I'm going to shade the numbers that are bigger. Cool. Next one, I do the same thing. Now there's variables on both sides. So I'm going to get 7m over there. So I'm going to subtract. Even if you did it in a different order, you should still get the same answers. When you do this, you get 10m plus 10 is greater than or equal to negative 6. Then how do I get 10 to the other side? And when I do that, I get 2m is greater than or equal to negative 16. Then what do? Divide. Now, does that sign flip? Nope, because that m, the number next to m, is not negative. That's got to be negative for it to flip. So I know it stays the same, and I get that as my answer. When you're doing your graph, it should be negative 8, negative 9, negative 7. And I know it's going to be a closed circle because there's a line underneath it. And since m is being eaten, I know it's greater than. And I know being out $7 is better than being out 9. So I would shade the bigger numbers. Negative means you're out that money. So we're literally going over an entire unit in one word. Make sure you're assessing, writing down the answer, then assessing like, do I get it now, or do I still need help? Next one, I want to earn at least a 90% on unit 2 test. So here's my test X. Here's my 90%. Now, if I want to earn at least a 90, always think of the extremes. Could I be happy earning a 0? Could I be happy earning 100? Yes, so I want it to be at least greater than, but if I earned a 90, I would still be happy, right? Because I want at least a 90, so the line's underneath it. So you always think about it, remember the mouthpiece, the bigger one. So my test score, here's my test score, it needs to be greater than or equal to a 90. You can have at most 3 friends over. So here's X, here's my 3. Can I have the entire Norcross High School at my house? No. Can I have 1 friend over? Yes, so I can have less than 3 or equal to it. But I can't have over 3. So I always just think of the entire extremes. Cool. So make sure you circle how you felt about that lesson. Last lesson, I'm pretty sure, was what we just went over. So first I'm going to rewrite it, but instead of writing the letter, I'm going to put it in a different color because I know I'm trying to get P by itself. Then I'm going to move 7W to the other side. So how do I get that to the other side? What's the opposite of subtracting? Adding. And right after I'm done this, I am collecting it. So just so you know. When I do that, I get K plus 7W equals 7P. Then how do I get rid of that 7? Divide. So divide each one by 7. You are going to have to divide. I could divide the whole thing, but in your answer choices, usually on your test, it's going to look something like this. So K over 7, I can't simplify that. What's 7 divided by 7? What happens with it? Yep, I just leave the W because it's technically 1. And so I end up getting this as an answer. Cool. Last one, M equals pi h squared. So first I need to get rid of that pi that's being multiplied. So what's the opposite of multiplication? Yep, I'm going to divide pi on both sides. So I end up with M over pi equals h squared. Then how do I get rid of the square? Square root. So here's my answer right here. Awesome. So I am going to collect these just to make sure